O'Leary Ventures chairman, Kevin O'Leary. I sort of agree with you in this sense. If the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates when asset prices across the board, stocks, risky assets, stocks, crypto, you name it, are at or near all-time highs, the Fed is just going to juice those assets even more. And what message does that send, Kevin?
It's not a good look. The Fed's in a very difficult situation. First of all, Powell, the outgoing, as you pointed out correctly, Fed chair, is very frisky when he knows he's going out. He doesn't have to worry about much because he's at the end. He's in the ninth inning of his tenure. So he's not going to do anything he doesn't think the right thing. And he also has a board he has to contend with other governors. The problem is, with the exception of California, which is a economic disaster, they have unemployment of 5.5%. And that's because of bad policy and lack of executional skills at both the state and municipal level. And they've got to fix themselves. They're broken. Everybody knows that. And they're losing jobs like crazy. But forget about that wasteland for a second. The rest of the country is on fire, literally. It's doing incredibly well. And policy is accommodative, even at this rate. And we've got almost full employment. And as you said, if you drop the Fed rates, you're going to spike these asset classes, including the risky ones, even higher. For what purpose? What are we trying to fix right now? So if I'm Powell, I'm saying, wait a second, all cylinders are firing. We don't have a problem here.
All right, SquirrelTribe. I don't know if any of you have seen this or even know who these people are, but there's a show, Fox News, called The Bottom Line. And what's her name? Dagan McDowell and the dude that she's with, they had Kevin O'Leary, who I know as Mr. Wonderful from, the Shark Tank. They had him on talking about the Fed, the Fed Summit that's going on in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which, side note, one of my favorite places is Jackson Hole and Grand Tetons. Absolutely freaking gorgeous. Not the point of any of this, though. But they were talking about the Fed rate and stuff like that. And Kevin O'Leary is like, they don't need to cut the Fed rate. I know the Fed sucks. Nobody likes them. It's up to the president to basically, crap on the Fed at all times. Every president, not just President Trump. Every president has to crap on the Fed and, butt heads with them because it's how it works. But he's talking about how the economy is booming and everything is going great. And he's like, I don't think that they're going to drop the basis points. I don't think anything's going to change, blah, 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 blah. Then they move into this other part of the conversation they're having, talking about the labor unions who are trying to, I don't want to say go after or go against AI moving into a lot of their sectors, but it's kind of sort of what it is. Like the electricians, the construction workers, the builders, the roofers, the whatever, everybody that's labor union specific, right?
Now, if there's going to be a cut at all, max it's 25 basis points, but I am not investing on that basis. I think you may get a surprise and he'll just say, look, the data's coming in hot. We're not cutting. And I know I'm getting whacked, so I'm not worried about it. Deal with it. And, Fed bashing, I actually enjoy it. It's very entertaining. I love Fed bashing. It's part of what the president has to do every administration. I love it. It's fun.
Yeah.
But the Fed doesn't give a poo-poo. They don't give a poo-poo.
Larry Kudlow will look at me and go, no name calling. I'm like, oh, I got a bucket of names right here. I'm a fish tosser.
Electricians are huge labor unions. I remember working with them, and a lot of them were more vocal about the unions than other trades were. But Kevin O'Leary was talking about how with AI moving into all these trades, how it's a great thing because it's going to bring in tens of thousands of jobs and all this white collar stuff. And it's going to, boost the economy even more because of all the money. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's true. As long as you know how to work with AI or you know how to work with the technology that AI is involved with, right? But then, y'all don't kill me, don't roast me over a pit for this, but that Dagan McDowell, or have the crap you say her name, number one, when she talks, and I'm not one to talk about how people sound because I have my own weird little accent and I sound like a dude, I think, voice-wise. My voice is too deep. It's not very feminine. It is what it is. But she reminds me of a mix between, what's the one lady Holly Hunter. She reminds me of Holly Hunter mixed with somebody else. I can't figure out who, but the way her voice is, if you know, you know. But I had a massive issue with something that she said in this interview, or I don't really guess it's an interview, this conversation, this podcast, whatever, that they were having with Kevin O'Leary.
All right, Kevin, I want to shift gears just a little bit because AI is here, artificial intelligence. But the AFL-CIO, other labor groups, they're trying to mobilize to fight AI in the workforce. How do you see this playing out?
They're not going to win that one. Not long term. In every single sector of the economy, what was considered 24 months ago to be hype, AI is proving itself to be a very, very effective, productive tool. I don't care what sector you look at. All 11 sectors, including real estate, every sector, even the entertainment sector. It is powerful, it is working, it is advancing, and it's going to change life for a lot of people in a good way. So unions can fight this, but you can't stop technology. I'm sure somebody back when the first automotive car rolled off the Ford assembly line, some buggy maker said, we're going to protest this, but it doesn't work long term. And AI is, I'm watching it in my own businesses. I am getting blown away by the productivity we're getting, even in financial services like insurance.
And she interrupted Kevin O'Leary to say how stupid she thought the labor union workers were to be worried about their jobs. She basically said, paraphrasing here because I don't have the video right in front of me and I might edit it in later, I'm not sure yet, but paraphrasing, she said, how stupid are you? It's not going to affect your jobs. This is the white collar and up. It's not going to affect the actual labor. Ma'am, no offense, but you're wrong and bullshit. Okay, so this is my issue here. As somebody who worked manual labor kind of stuff for a very long portion of my corporate America career, hands-on, getting dirty, whatever else, as somebody who owned a commercial roofing company, painting company with my husband before, COVID hit and we sold it and whatever else, I am very aware of how a lot of these things work. And I know who does what in a lot of these different fields. And even right now, people were talking about how, oh no, with immigration, what's going to happen to all of our trades once you send all the illegal immigrants back? There's nobody who's going to be able to roof anything or do your landscaping or do whatever else. And there's one of the problems. I'm not going to lie. One of the problems is people were so worried about it because either they thought American citizens didn't want to work or they didn't want to hire American citizens, which is probably more the case because it would definitely cost you way more to hire a citizen than it would an illegal immigrant because you can't under the table them most of the time. They want their W-2 paychecks or the 1099s. They want their medical benefits. They want all these different things, which is makes sense to me to want the perks and benefits of having a job if you're going to have to work for somebody 9 to 5, right? Anyway, so because of all of that push, there has been more and more pushes for building things that would basically make the man or woman who did the job useless. You think to yourself that roofing, oh, you're always going to need roofers. You always need somebody to climb up on the house. No, you don't, because there is now a machine that I saw a video of that will go up on the roof and take off all of the old tile, yes, but also the shingles off the roof. I think it does tile, the Spanish tile stuff. I know it does with the shingles. There's a machine you can put up on the roof to take off all of the shingles. You know what that's going to do? These big companies who employ people to climb up on the roof that then they have to have workman's comp. They have to have all these other things because heaven forbid you fall off a flipping roof. What they are going to end up doing is moving over to the machine that can do it for them instead, because then they are not having to pay an employee. They're not having to pay that insurance. They're not having to pay your 401k. They don't have to give you sick time or vacation time or anything else. They might have to replace a battery. They might have to invest in some WD-40 for the machine. They might have to charge it a little longer than they want to or buy 2 of them in case the first one craps out for some reason. But when this woman, that Dagan, whatever the crap, McDowell, said that these people were stupid for thinking their jobs were going to be taken, ma'am, fuck off. That's ignorant.
We're killing it. It's unbelievable what's happening. It's one of the reasons the market's so hot. The market sees productivity and margin enhancement everywhere with AI.
I just want to add one thing. Do you know how irretrievably stupid these union leaders are? The jobs that are at risk are the coders and the software developers and the white collar jobs. It's not the skilled labor. It's not the jobs that these unions represent. That's how dumb they are. Their jobs and unions will actually benefit from AI because welders, HVAC, electricians, skilled labor, those jobs will still be in demand. Kevin, final word.
Yeah, well, there's lots more jobs coming that are high paying in construction of data centers. I do that.
Right.
We are going to be hiring tens of thousands of people, high paying construction and engineering jobs of every sector of engineering, from electrical to mechanical to computer design. This sector is also on fire.
Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, thanks so much for joining us on The Bottom Line. Do appreciate it.
Good to see you, Kevin.
Take care.
I have been ignorant in things that I've said in the past, not willfully, not intentionally, obviously, but I feel like she went in there to be intentionally ignorant and make this point. I don't know if it was designed to get more people talking about the show or whatever else, because it is a clearly stupid comment that was made. Okay, let's talk about painters. Not even your house painting, but there are machines out there that will paint for you. I mean, they had sprayers to begin with, and now you can get an actual machine that will go inside your home. I don't know if they have an exterior one, but go inside your home, and they could, AI map it all out and then just paint for you, do the spray on the walls, the ceiling, the whatever else. Same thing with, think about it, the car industry. It used to be that you stood in there, not you, the you, like the general you, stood in there and you put the parts together to make the car. Then what happened? Technology moved in and booted out half the people and brought in automated stuff. The same thing has happened in numerous industries, and labor unions are not safe from it. Regular ass people who are not white collar, but who are blue collar, are not safe from it. She's talking about, if you're an electrician or you're a painter, you're a construction worker, you're safe because they need your hands. No, they don't, which is part of the problem and why so many people have such a big effing issue with AI taking over and technology taking over. The painting. I'm in a parking lot right now. You can see the stripes behind me. You know what normally does that? A person who either sits on a machine or pushes one. They have to put the stuff in it. They have to stand behind it and go with it. They stripe this. If there's something wiggly woggly, it's because somebody was probably sipping a little before they got started painting the stripes in the parking lots, the yellow stripes on the road, the stripes in front of the stop signs, everything. You know what they have now? A fucking machine that will do it. You know who does not have that job anymore? The person who did it before. You know why? Because it's cheaper for the corporations to employ a machine than a human. That's what it all comes down to. In case you guys have forgotten how this works over here. Profit over people seems to be the massive, overlooked reason behind this push for AI and technology. It is not to make your life easier, boo-boo. It is not to make things better for anybody. It's to pad their pockets. It is always to pad their pockets. Everything is about money. The world runs on money. If money just stopped being made, everything would go to shit, like 100%. It would be catastrophic if just money stopped and you just had to give things away and everything was free, or you had to figure out how to barter again, like back in the day with a chicken or a hog or your daughter or your son or whatever else. Everything runs on money. And even Kevin O'Leary, I mean, when he says this is going to bring in tens of thousands of jobs, he's looking at it. I could see the dollar signs in his eyes, because those tens of thousands of jobs are, yes, that might bring some in, but it's going to bring in tens of thousands to replace hundreds of thousands. The skilled labor, your hands, my hands, no longer need to do the work because they will find a Elon Musk robot that will go do it for you. Cars, you know what you don't need anymore? Chauffeurs. You know why? Because your fucking car will drive you around. You know what you don't need anymore? A cleaning lady. You know why? Because Elon Musk robot will go vacuum and dust for you. The fucking Roomba, the little thingy that can vacuum your floors. Hello? Listen. I am all for the advancement of whatever, right? But to sit there and ignorantly just unrealistically say it's not going to affect people's jobs, get out of here. Seriously, give me your job. I'll take your job. I'll go on the show because clearly you don't know what you're talking about. No offense, respectfully, or whatever. No offense, but you're an idiot. So there are a lot of people out there who are worried about their jobs, and they have every right to be. Yes, trade schools are still going to be probably one of the most important things you can do, because there will still be, obviously, needs for electricians and roofers and literally everything. My brain's like pissed off and fried at the same time, so I can't think of all the things. But there will always be a need for that. But there will, over time, become less and less and less of a need, because as we continue to push AI and technology, we are shooting ourselves in the foot here. And what are you going to do? You either have to figure out how to be smart enough to understand the technical AI aspects of the jobs everywhere, or you have to have enough money to be able to go to school to learn these things. Those schools are going to cost so much more than a trade school to go learn how to do electrician work or HVAC or whatever else. It is unfortunate how very close-eyed, not close-minded, but close-eyed a lot of people are on the trajectory of AI and the trajectory of, what's the word? Brain, do your job. Of, hello, not AI, technology. Hell, we're there. It happens sometimes. Blame it on the 40s and perimenopause. Blame it on, I don't know, y'all say ADHD, or just blame it on the fact that I'm pissed off. It just, the one thing she said, she called these people stupid because they were worried about their jobs. Bitch, you could be replaced. Does she not understand that? There are so many, listen, there's a new commercial I saw, a Starbucks commercial, and it was all AI. And what I thought was really funny is an AI commercial. They could have made these people look as great as they wanted to, and they still made them look like libtards. Anyway, not the point. What this woman does for her job, what's her name? What did I say her name is? Dugan or Duggan or whatever, McDowell. She can be replaced with a fake AI character who won't go off script, who won't get sick, who won't make faces, who won't do whatever else. And then they just replace her with something that's not real. They replace the whole thing with something that's not real. That can be scripted, that can be just altered, all of it.
9/11 video was powerful too. I'm not gonna lie to you, because what they showed on TV was not the real footage. That is scary, because you could be thinking like, oh, technology and this just came out. Ain't no telling how long AI been out. Does that make sense on what I'm saying? Ain't no telling how long CGI been out, because we just...
Nobody's job is safe ever. And I feel like everybody needs to understand that. Nobody's job is safe. Every single person out there is replaceable. If you work for a corporation, you're working 9 to 5, and something happens to you, either you get sick, you get hurt, you die, something happens, you can't come in for an extended period of time, guess what they're going to do? Replace you, because you are always replaceable when it comes to work and stuff like that. The only place you are not replaceable and should be in your family, in your marriage, with your children. That's where you should not be replaceable. However, we all know people are still replaced that way, divorces, whatnot, blah, blah. But this woman saying that these labor union workers are stupid really made my fucking blood boil, in case you cannot tell. And I'm sure she's great. I'm sure 99.9% of the time she is dead on, spot on. But this 0.1%, she can kick rocks, because that is an ignorant statement to make, that these labor union workers do not have to worry about their jobs because they use their hands. That's all. SquirrelTribe. I love y'all immensely. I'm going to go woosah for a second, because I have put myself into a pissed off tizzy. And I'll see you guys again later. Okay. Love you. Goodbye.